Hey, close friends. Before we dive into all I've learned in my self-love journey, I thought it would be helpful to go back and tell you how I got here in the first place. Okay. In December of 2022, I was very casually dating this guy that I should not have been dating in the first place. He was very funny and I liked the things that we did together, but he was a recovering addict, he was in debt, he had severe body dysmorphia, which was really not a good match because I was in recovery for a binge eating disorder at the time that we were dating. He lived in a basement, and the first time I went over his house, he didn't have any toilet paper. So we had to go somewhere else so that I could use the bathroom. And when you stack all of those things together, yes, it makes sense. I should not have been dating that man. I should not have been considering that man. I had been single for 5 years and was trying to find an intentional and loving partnership and was having no luck. And this guy was really funny and very smart, and he was in recovery. So he was trying to turn his life around. Yeah, a year and a half later, I'm like, girl, no. When I do some reflecting and I step into my compassionate heart, it is very clear that I was looking for love and connection. And I was willing to overlook all of the things that would suggest that this was not the right fit for me. The first time he came to my apartment, he said, if I knew you lived like this, I would have never let you see my apartment. Which again is a lesson. If they tell you who they are, believe them. They're telling the truth. The way that it ended was not great. He showed up 45 minutes late to a date that he had scheduled to pick me up. And I was dressed and ready to go. He lingered at the door when he finally showed up. And I was like, do you have to come in, use the bathroom? And he was like, yeah. So he used my bathroom, which in hindsight, knowing he didn't have any toilet paper, he was probably just using my toilet paper. Whew. Anyway, he came out of the bathroom and he said, our connection is unlike anything I've ever had before, and therefore I think we should be friends. And I wanted to tell you that before we hung out today. And I was like, we're not hanging out today. You're 45 minutes late. And he was like, oh, okay. And I just sat there in silence and I was like, you are wasting my time. Why did you even come here? Because, in a dream world, he could have texted me earlier in the day and said, hey, I'm having a change of heart. I'd love to have a quick call or a FaceTime. If you would like to talk in person, I'm happy to drive across San Francisco to talk to you. But I just wanted to let you know before we went on a date. That would have been a dream world. But anyway, if he was capable of that kind of communication, it would have been a better fit for me. So I went upstairs and I was crying. And I made this very quick video for my close friends on Instagram. And I posted it. And all my friends were like, you have to post this. So I made a new TikTok. And that's what you've seen. Immediately, that video went viral. I think it's now at 2.7 million views. And there were so many strangers on the internet literally saying to me, if you loved yourself enough, you would not put yourself in this situation. And after reading enough of those comments, I was like, holy shit, you're fucking right. It took me about 2 weeks to process what I was about to do and realized that situation was my rock bottom. I clearly did not love myself enough to create boundaries around the type of relationship that I deserve to have. I was in so much scarcity around connection and love, specifically coming from a male, that I was willing to look past all of the things that I need. We're talking, the bar was as low as it could have possibly been. In sharing vulnerably, the internet held me accountable and told me to get it together. And they were right. So I decided to go on a 6-month self-love journey where I was no longer dating. I deleted all of my apps and I turned my focus inward to myself to see how I could make my life the best it could possibly be. I posted a follow-up video explaining what I was going to be doing on my journey, and the internet went wild. I realized that there were so many people who wanted to learn how to love themselves more and did not even know where to begin. In sharing vulnerably my experience with not loving myself, allowed other people to see and recognize that they too wanted more love for themselves. I never spoke to that guy again after he left my house. I sometimes have this feeling like I want to thank him, because what he ultimately did was show me my rock bottom and launch me into my 6-month self-love journey, which also launched 100,000 other people into their self-love journeys, which is crazy. I wonder if he knows. Anyway, What this situation helped me see was that I was not comfortable being by myself. I was desperately craving a relationship, and after 5 years at that point of not being in a serious relationship, I was feeling really anxious, like I had to compromise what I wanted in order to feel and receive love. And I knew that something needed to change. I could no longer operate in a world where I was considering people who don't have toilet paper. So I was looking at my 6-month journey as kind of a boot camp for me to reorganize and restructure and put all of the energy that I was pouring into these random men from the internet and pour that back into myself and make my life as amazing as it possibly could be. During the last year and a half, I have done so much. I have healed my relationship with my body and my relationship to food. I have finally seen my own value and understood how special I am. I have invested time and energy into the relationships and friendships that replenish me and bring me joy. I have spent the last year and a half designing a beautiful apartment that feels like the inside of my soul. I have spent time fostering and building community here in San Francisco. I have learned how to lean into my own personal style and dress in a way that makes the world open around me. My life was good before my self-love journey, and now it has completely blossomed in all of these categories that have nothing to do with men. And although having a lifelong partner is still a goal of mine, in the meantime, while that's not happening, I want to live the fullest life I possibly can. And because of my self-love journey, I am doing that. I'll tell you the rest tomorrow. See you soon, sweet friends.